decisions, great mound visits, great job not letting the best player beat you.
This one crushed, out to right field. And it's going to be out of here. Pennsylvania walk-off home run. Travis Devonic sends him to Williamsport.
With the 37th pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Kevin McGonigal, a shortstop from Monsignor Bonner High School, Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's going. Yes! And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What is up in Delaware County, and welcome back for another episode of Delco Baseball Now. He's Ben Thorpe, I'm Brendan Ricciardi, and this is the Big 5-0.
We made it.
We made it to the 50th episode here of Delco Baseball Now. I'm not sure how many have had you. I would say maybe like 15 to 20 of those.
I'd probably call it like 15.
Yeah, we'll call it about 15 to 20, but we are very excited to hit this milestone here. I'm sure this won't be the last major milestone
Hope so.
we hit on the show here, but thanks everybody for tuning in and supporting us as we just continue to build this empire and take over Delaware County baseball forever. But we actually have a game to talk about. How about that? We'll get into that in a sec.
News.
We also keep promoting the merchandise as always. I got the hoodie on today. I think Ben's got the phone case and the T-shirt under the hoodie as well.
This is the one that this isn't the T-shirt. This is the one that we.
That is true. That is the one. That was a prototype.
We got a prototype.
Yeah, we got a new one with the logo.
Limited edition.
Yeah, we just gave one away to our Ascent Athlete player of the day and our.
14-year-old went 315.
Oh my God, these kids are hitting balls 90 miles an hour in their middle school. It's absurd. But let's talk about this game here. Yep. So we had the Haverford School. They took down Germantown Friends on opening day. It was a 15-0 score. Listen, Germantown Friends, obviously they weren't quite on the same level, but they took care of business, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, first game, I think it's really easy. Like, no matter who you're playing, to kind of have like those first game jitters or something like that, and seems like none of them.
Yeah. So East Carolina commit Ian White Jr. got the start on the mound. He struck out all 3 hitters he faced, but the offense took over in the bottom of the first because guess who? Ian White Jr. homered to dead center. That made it a 3-0 game. They had a couple RBI groundouts and a sac fly to get it going. Brandon Dunbar, Elizabethtown College baseball commit,
go Jays, baby.
Right there, hit a 3-run shot to left center to make it 6-0. The game pretty much could not have gone better in Haverford's favor. Kevin Reeve threw 2 shutout innings. They added another 6 runs in the bottom of the third.
Love it.
And they ended up hitting the 15-run mercy rule. We also had Jaden Rivera had 2 doubles. Noah Trexler drove in 3 runs. Connor Haney threw a shutout inning as well. And, it's pretty good starting point for the Fords.
Yeah, not bad. I was going to go to that game, and then I looked at how long it was going to take me to get there and saw it was 6-0. I was like, it might be over by the time. And to my credit, like probably within 5 minutes of me, it was the same amount of time to get back to my apartment. Within about 5 minutes, that game was over. So.
Yeah. He texted me. He's like, "Should I still come?" I'm like, "No." I would love for you to be here, but no. Yeah. Let me face the music here. I butchered so much on the graphics after the game. Listen,
gotta get it out.
Spring training for everybody. The only person I would like to apologize to is Brandon Dunbar because I used a picture of Brenda Green because I got their numbers switched up because the picture wasn't zoomed in that much. And they looked enough alike. I'm like, I think that's him. So shout out to Brandon. I apologize. You're going to hit another homer this year. Although I heard that was his first ever home run.
That was his first ever home run?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, so we're going to keep building off that this year. But, hey, it's not about the mistake you make. It's about how you respond from the mistake. And, we're going to get back. We're going to watch the film. We're going to watch the tape. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen again.
It's a minor setback for a major comeback.
I would also like to criticize the Delco baseball community because nobody told me until like 2 hours in. Someone should have sent a DM be like, hey, how did Haverford score 15 runs with 0 hits? But you know what? A lot of walks, a lot of errors, a lot of stolen bases to get it going. But we'll get back on track here. And, people will forget about this the next time there's baseball to be played here.
Some chirps are appreciated because it does keep us in line.
Oh,
we gotta stay grounded.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. We got a great show coming up today as well. We got 2 good interviews here. We got Springfield and we got Ridley. Little rivalry episode here.
Yeah.
We also have some college baseball talk about some of the guys from Delco who've been showing out, and we'll wrap it up with a little bit of Phillies talk. Not too much MLB stuff really going on right now. Mostly just spring training. We're still waiting for some of the guys like Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery to sign. But until then, we'll just talk a little bit of Phils. So we're looking forward to that. But with that being said, let's welcome on from the Springfield Cougars. We got Matt Bean, we got Sean Williams, and we got Ethan Marshall. All right, we are now joined by our guys from Springfield Baseball. We got Matt Bean, Sean Williams, and Ethan Marshall, along with Springfield alum Ben Thorpe here, getting the gang back together. How y'all doing today?
Great, how are you?
Very good. Thank you guys for coming in. How's the offseason been for the Cougars?
It's been good so far. We've been doing some team lifts Tuesday, Thursdays, and we just got drop-down cages in our gym that we're trying to hit in whenever we can, get gym time. So it's been good.
We just got a pitching machine this year, so that's really good for us.
Is it off-speed pitching machine?
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Man.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you guys do you lift in the school weight room for the most part, or?
Yeah. There's 2 weight rooms. There's one under the bleachers under the football stadium, and then there's one up in the school, and there's an indoor track, so we do a bunch of stuff up there. And then
There's an
obviously
indoor
the cage
track in
jump.
there?
Yeah.
No way.
It's not huge. It's probably 12 laps is a mile. It's not really big, but
They waited for you to leave just to make everything so much cooler.
A few years after I left.
Yeah.
but
Well,
still.
how do you guys like the new field? Because I have not been to the new complex since it got created.
Yeah, it's really cool, but
It's a nice field.
It's really nice field, yeah.
I feel like the draining, I guess.
Not good for rain.
No,
Yeah,
yeah. So
it doesn't really hold the rain.
when it rained, the softball field is great, but ours is terrible. It would rain, and then you would have to wait at least a week and a half to play on the field again.
So I get turf.
Yeah, first game last year, we were supposed to play home against Harrington, and we tried to play one day, then we moved the field, and then we just ended up playing away a week later.
Oh, man.
Because our field just wouldn't drain.
I saw it got flooded over the summer. I think me and my brother went there. It was just it looked like someone ran over with a car or something.
That's what it looks like right now, yeah.
Really?
And there's tire tracks through the outfield, and they just have to patch it up by hand. It's
Northeast baseball.
yeah.
Nothing like it.
All right, let's talk about last season. So a little bit up and down for you guys. I would say that you ended with a 6-10 record in the Central League. What do you guys think that throughout that season you learned that will help you to have a better year this year?
I feel like the biggest thing that we lacked last year was the small errors, walking guys, strikeouts, errors, in the field. But I feel like
We were in all those games.
Right. It wasn't like we were getting 10 runs. It was all 2-run, 3-run losses, 1-run losses. It just sucks.
But and we have these written previews that'll be out soon. I think you had mentioned. I don't think you guys lost a game by more than 5 runs the entire season.
That's the thing. It was just little things like that. If they were to go our way, we could easily be 12-8 and not 8-12.
Yeah.
It's just.
So I feel like, now that you guys are, you didn't really lose too many seniors, right?
Well,
as a whole. Yeah, which was,
senior.
don't tell me, Shane? Is that
It was
who it
Luke Jones.
Luke Jones.
He's at Albernia.
So now that you guys kind of have that more maturity, I feel like those, would you say a lot of them were mental errors or more physical or just kind of a little everything?
I think
mental.
as mental, some kids were definitely more in their head. If they made one error, then they couldn't get it out of their head, and it just kept building up and building up. Eventually, we had to make changes, and that's when our season flipped, really, in the middle of the year, when we made those changes that we need to.
And especially last year, we pretty much had 2 returning varsity guys and a whole new varsity team.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people had varsity experience and what it takes to playing a varsity baseball game.
Yes. So it's good to kind of get that experience now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely better. Like this year, our entire lineup is returning.
Oh, wow.
Even the young guys. We had 2 freshmen come up middle to end of last year that really helped us and helped us flip our season. And then this year, our entire lineup is returning.
We kind of look at it when me and Matt were sophomores, it was me and him on varsity, and then so we had all our seniors with that group, and that was a really good group. So we kind of see that as this year. I know Matt probably sees it like that. We definitely see the team
similar with Marple. They pretty much have a whole 1 and 9. And we had them on. They're we've been playing with this core together for a while. Not necessarily just in high school, just Little League, travel ball, whatever. So yeah, it's cool, and it's kind of feels almost like a last dance. This like that core.
We've all been playing together since we were 6, and now it's just we got one more chance to make a run.
We just got to finish what we started, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So I guess kind of in that similar about like talking about last season, what do you guys think you did well that you really want to build on this year?
I feel like, looking at our record, we lost our first 6, and then we went on like a 3-game win streak, and then lost a couple more, and then went on another winning streak. Like, I think we did good at like keeping our momentum, like when we had it, and like just stringing together games where you're hitting good and pitching good and feeling good.
Yeah, I feel like as a team too, we definitely like didn't let the losses like control the next game. Like we kind of just let it brush off, like because we were in those games with 1-2 runs once again.
Yeah, we weren't like
it was
finger
tough
pointing
games,
or anything. It was just like
we didn't really dwell on it. We tried to get to the next game, get that next point.
plays that should have been made weren't made, and if they were, then it probably game would have been different. But it's just
Yeah. It's not like baseball's luck, but there's some times where like, damn, like was our record really like what we were as a team?
Really how we
and it's good
that's
that
how we look at it.
and it's good that you guys can like address that and feel that you know it's a confidence booster.
yeah.
You know?
And like we all thought we were gonna have a good season last year, and we just didn't. But like we had the guys, and like on paper we thought we would be good, but once you get in there, you play other teams, and they just outplayed us most of the games, and we just dropped them.
Yes, I remember going to your guys when you guys beat Garnet at home. I was at that game and watching you guys. I was like, because I'd seen like your record and everything. I was like, there's no. You guys might have been like 1-4, 2-4. I was like, there's no way this is like a 1-4 team in the Central League.
Yeah. It's like the ultimate, like, hey, the ball just doesn't bounce your way sometimes. You know?
Right. It says a lot about like Delco baseball in general. Like every team's so like well matched. Like any game can flip either way.
Yeah, you really
for sure.
You can drop any game.
There's so much parity because last year the last place team was 4-12, and there was a couple. There was no real like, oh, this is an easy win.
Right.
You know, like
exactly.
there are times that like when we were playing like Upper Darby, like there's some teams where you're like,
there's a couple
all right, like we can let some of the other guys get some time, but now it's like no, you can't give anyone your your C game and expect to
way
win.
different now.
We definitely figured that out last year. There's games that we all thought was like, all right, this is an easy win, and we would lose. It's just that we found that out the hard way last year.
All right, so obviously, outside of you three, who are some of the guys on the team this year that the world needs to know about?
I guess our 2 sophomores this year, like they played with us last year, Nick Corse and Jake Lennon. Nick Corse is a center fielder, and Jake Lennon filled in for a senior shortstop last year.
Okay.
And they're both like really good defenders, can swing good bat, and should be good.
They're both scrappy little players.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I would say the 2 basketball players, Jake Adams and Colin Trude. Jake's going to help us out in a big way.
Jake's gonna be huge,
pitching this year. He's going to be our 3rd guy, and I've caught him plenty of times over the past couple years, and he's a very good pitcher. And then Colin Trude is going to need to play a big part in our season this year, coming in relief in most games during the week. Probably every single game he will have to come in relief and play a big role for us this year.
Dude, that 3rd guy is so important, especially with the pitch count. Because like there'll be times, I'm sure both of you guys will know, like you're at 105 and you're like, I can still keep going, but like you just can't, logistically. And that 3rd guy becomes all important. You might only throw like a third of an inning, but once that 105 hits, like
I feel like a lot of teams have 2. If you have 3 and 4 or 3 or 4 guys that you can like really rely on, that's what takes like a good team to a great team.
Yeah. And on those weeks where you have like 3 game weeks like that, it really comes in clutch.
The guy that hasn't started all year, it's like, hey, you're the only pitcher we have today. Yeah, we got to figure it out. And it was like when we talked to Strathaven guys, like last year they had Pac and D'Ancona, and then obviously he'll tell you the state championship wasn't great, but Zane Malarkey was fantastic up until that late in the season, and that's a big reason they got that far.
So now you guys are, and talk about it a little bit, now that you guys are seniors and you're kind of running the show, like how do you feel about taking on that responsibility, being the leaders?
I think we're all ready for it because like last year there was really only 1 starting senior, so we've all already been in that like leadership role, and I think we're all like prepared to carry it.
I think last year definitely prepared us for this year. Me and Matt were captains last year, and we took on that role pretty well. Just because this senior leadership wasn't there when it should have been, and we kind of had to take on that role and keep the team together when it was in those tough times, like that 0-6 start, and then in the middle of the year when we lost like 5 straight, and then we were 3-11, and then made changes, and we kind of made sure the team didn't get down, and then we went on that run for a little bit and dropped we went 5 or 6.
State championship runner-up, 1-0. That was a great game.
Right. Yeah.
So, like that's just like you see that like from last year, and it's just like so much to build off for this year.
So like from a mental standpoint, how do you kind of like rally the troops together? Because obviously you can tell you have the talent, but like how do you keep the group together when the results just are not coming?
it's honestly just about having fun, really. Like, you gotta like show up to practice every day with these guys, and you just gotta have fun with them. Like, keep a light mood, but make sure you're still like getting your baseball fundamentals down. Make sure you're like really hammering practice hard, like so that when you're in the games, you're just ready for it. So that experience, you're already there.
I agree with that. Like, you can see, like last year, practices were fun. Everyone showed up. Everyone was in a good mood, and then we took practice serious, but we had fun with it and still liked to play the game of baseball. And we still wanted to win win games.
And especially knowing that you guys were all going to be back the next year, you can kind of keep that mentality like, all right, we're still getting work in for next year.
Right.
And getting after
our bond for next year.
So obviously not here today, but head coach Brian Francis has been around the program for a while. You can talk about him as well. But what do you have to say about just like playing for him and what he means for the program?
I mean, he's a great guy. Great personality. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
He loves the game.
And he really gets us like invested in the season. Like he always has big dreams for us, and he kind of just instills his mentality in our players.
Yeah,
he's a hard coach, but like he won't get on you to the point where like
you break down.
Yeah, but he'll get on you. Like
he knows what he can say to some kids and what he can't. Like, he knows he can get on some kids, but other kids can't take it as well. He knows he can find the happy medium and he can find the middle.
I'm sure as a football player, you're fine getting yelled at. You're used to it.
He says it to me all the time. He's like, you can take it, so I yell at you. And I'm like, all right, well.
This is nothing compared to what they're saying to me on the football field. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I guess same question to you, Ben. Like, how long has he been there? Do you know?
So he was, my junior year was his first year.
Okay.
So I have him too. I mean, I think it's probably no coincidence that him coming in coincide with like our program kind of getting a lot better. I mean, I guess my senior year was our first playoff win in like 10 years. So like, I don't know. I think him coming in definitely helped a lot. And the program seemed like it's, been up and down, but like definitely I think him coming, like, he's the right guy to run that program.
I wish it wasn't up in 2017.
Yeah,
I'm still mad about that. Yeah, I mean,
he always talks about that season.
That group, they beat us all 3 times, and all 3 times we had a lead in the last inning, and they came back and won. This kid, Andrew Todaro is his name. He's a catcher. And I think in 3 out of the 4 games, he had the game-winning hit.
Yeah.
I have nightmares about that, dude.
Dude, he hit Strathaven he hit them really well. He hit like the first home run I saw at the I guess now old field, because we just gotten a fence. So he was like the first person to actually go deep on that field that I'd seen. And
wake up in the middle of the night and be like, that guy.
It was
that guy.
To tie the game in the last inning against Will Carey. Like, that was...
all right, so we talked about this a little before, just Ben and I. Who do you guys feel is your biggest rival when it comes to baseball? Because I know in all sports it's Ridley, but you only play him once.
Right. Yeah.
Does it still feel like Ridley?
I mean, it's kind of tough.
I guess, honestly, for me, I kind of think it's Harrington.
Yeah.
Okay. First game of the year, we play him. First game of the year every year, and they always play us tough. Records don't matter. Okay. They always play us tough.
It's going to be a 3-2 game, 2-1 game, no matter what. Yeah.
They get on the plate, they crowd the plate, and they just slap at the ball, and they get hits. They play the game.
Yeah, we always play them twice. Like, the other teams we play twice, like Strathaven and Marple. Like, those are always like good rivalries. Right. But for some reason, Harrington is always on us, and it's always a hard game.
I hated pitching against them. They did the same thing where it was crowd the plate and just slap everything.
Yep.
It was so.
I mean, they're well coached. They're a really good team, but they always play us. Really
they know their strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
Same thing with Strathaven. They're going to bunt 4 times an inning, and you're going to sit there and take it. Like, that's all you can do.
And that's kind of what like their guys were saying. When they were in there, kind of talking about how they just, it's kind of how they play, and they're in every game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I guess we just kind of talked about that.
We did before on air. Yeah. Just about like how, so you guys got first scrimmage against Chichester on Tuesday. You'll play them again in a week or so, but I guess the main question is just how excited are you to get back on the field and get going?
Yeah, we're all
it's going to be great. We haven't really been able to get on the field, obviously. So just being at the high school right now and doing it on the turf, it just doesn't feel real. But so to get back on there on Tuesday is going to be a good time. And
just the season in general, like we already said, we've all been playing together for so long, and we've all loved playing with each other all these years, and it's just gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
You guys all play Springfield. It's not a little league, right? It's Cal, right?
Yeah,
but you grew up together playing.
Baby.
It's
I
cool.
think literally all of us, besides 3 of us. Yeah. 3 of the 6 out of the 9 starters are. We all played Cal Ripken together.
Yeah. That's sick. Yeah, it was cool.
From 8 to 12.
We had Marple on. Marple's split up. They have Newtown Edgemont, but they also have South Marple and Marple. So we grew up hating each other, and now they're back playing playing with each other. We had a question on here about team chemistry, but it seems like you guys very much get along. Is it like off the field as well? Like
yeah. In school, like we just whenever we see anybody, we're all just getting along.
Yeah,
and even the young kids, we try to like really make them a part of the team. Yeah. And you can see it. Like they'll come up to us in school and like mess around. Nick Kors and Jake Lennon, they'll come up to us and like
comfortable.
They're not afraid of being like, oh, it's the seniors.
Right.
That's
cool.
I guess based on what you saw last year, you talked a little bit about Harriton. Who are maybe some of the other teams in the Central League that maybe you have that game circled on the calendar?
Definitely Marple.
Yeah, Marple and Strathaven, I guess.
Marple and Strathaven always. Yeah. Because we know that's going to be a good game.
I think Lower Marion will definitely be a really good game.
100%.
I think we play them
them
one day,
too.
so we'll get banned.
We'll get
a really good game.
Oh, all right.
I feel like a lot of parity in the league this year.
100%.
While we have you guys here, do you think the Central League should have playoffs?
Yes, 100%.
I've yet to hear anyone say no to that.
I think they should, and I think the championship should be a 3-game.
See, the thing is, I like that, but I think it would be hard to do that before districts.
Right.
That's the
that's the only
especially
thing.
with baseball.
I think the 3-game would be nice
with all the arms,
because you want to get into that pitching depth. Like you play one game, you're going to get their 1 or their 2, but you have to play 3. Then that, like, say you take it to 3, you're getting a 3 or 4, maybe a 5.
Really
a 3-gamer for the Central League.
My suggestion is, because you want to somewhat reward the teams with the best regular season, I think it should be 6 teams and do it like 1 and 2 get a bye. 3, 6, 4, 5 semis and championship.
Yeah.
So in order to win, if you don't get the bye, you need to use 3 pitchers.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
You can't just rely on
at the end of the day, like every year I see the PCL title and I see hundreds of people at like Newman or Penn or Immaculata or wherever, watching that game and just being like, man, like
you're missing out.
In 2017, my senior year, I think it was Springfield, Harriton, and Garnet. They split the title. You tell me 25% of the league is the champ. Like it's just like it
That's
just
what
doesn't.
It was for football this year.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we all split it.
Was you Haven and Marple? No, you Haven and Garnet.
Garnet.
Garnet. Yeah, it's because Marple beat Haven to make it so that could happen. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I just think just fit something in before districts, so when districts start, your number one's ready, and go from there.
You have time too, because other teams have their championships.
Yeah, and just like
we always have like a week off before we play a district game. Like I remember that sophomore year, we had like a whole week off before we got to play that first playoff game.
You get a little rusty with a week off. This would be good to keep things going here.
Exactly.
I think we should just first off, I don't even know who makes these decisions. I don't know if the Central League has like a board or if there's like all the coaches or something. I think if we just convince kids on every single team, be like, hey, we'll host it if
if we get enough people to complain about it. I think we might have a shot.
Give it to me at Marple under the lights.
Right. Like literally just have every game.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little about college baseball here. So Matt, have you made your decision whether it be baseball or not yet?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, I went through, pretty much the recruiting process for some schools and, going on visits and talking to the coaches. And, I've always wanted to play baseball, at the next level, in some sort of way, whether it's on, the varsity or club level. But it's just, some of the schools, just didn't fit me, academically or, they didn't have my major that I want to major in, So I feel like I'm just going to lean towards going to a school that I want to attend first, and then just try and play any sort of baseball I can.
You know where I'm going with this. Every episode, I could try and convince one person to play club at Penn State. That's always my my main selling point.
I talked to you about that. At the Big 26.
I was talking to your dad. Did your dad go to Penn State?
No, my mom did.
Okay, I remember one of them I was talking to about it. It's like, hey, if you want a good combination of good school, good socials, and a good club team, and highest recommendation.
Seeing what Alex Pock did, walking on. I've always said wherever I go, just walk on.
Try. Absolutely try.
What's the worst that happens?
Yeah, exactly. And Delco wise, I think there's 7 or 8 Delco guys. Owen Mathis plays there. Yeah. Justin Brennan, 2 guys from Radnor, Pat Mannix and Austin Marks are there. It's just I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I loved it, so that's definitely what I recommend. Sean, obviously we're talking about you're going to Seton Hill outside Pittsburgh. Talk about the recruiting process here.
So it was the beginning of the senior year. Coach Marizaldi reached out to me, and he asked me to come up for a visit. He said he saw me on PBR, and he made it very welcoming right when I came up. And right when I was driving up the hill, so there's Seton Hill, there's a hill with a cemetery.
Makes sense.
Leads up to the
Checks
school.
out.
It's a beautiful church, and it really just felt like home right when I got there. They welcomed me. It felt great. The facilities, the school, it all felt really good.
Nice to feel wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
How many people have thought you're going to Seton Hall when you tell them? That's had to have happened at some point,
It's
right?
happened about 100 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think we get asked where he's going. And they're like, is he going to Seton Hall? I'm like, no, it's Seton Hill.
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think Seton Hall's in Jersey,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
There's a chance Seton Hill might be a better baseball team than Seton Hall.
They are.
There's like a non-zero
Hey,
chance.
At the very least, they're playing in one of the best D2 baseball
Yeah.
conferences
Yeah.
in the country, without a doubt.
I mean, they just beat number 1 ranked team, New Tampa, down in.
I saw that. Yeah, they
Really?
did beat Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was a great game.
yeah. Are you gonna go on any more visits? Like go out to any games this
I'm
spring?
going up the 16th. Yeah,
Oh, let's
cool.
go.
Yeah,
I
it
was
should
gonna
be
say
really
'cause
fun.
it's not like something you can go to as many games as you want. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
plan that one out. Ethan, you're playing football at Stevenson.
Yes.
I guess we'll still talk about the recruiting process. Why not?
Yeah, it was a lot. I was between two schools. I was between them and King's College, and I think I visited both like 4 times, and I went to game days at both. I liked it, and then I went to Stevenson for my official visit, and I went through the day. The last thing was a meeting with the head coach, and once I met with him, talked to him, and my mom was in the room, and I came out of the meeting, and we got in the hall, and my mom kind of looked at me, and she like gave me this look that like she's wondering what I'm thinking, and I gave her the look. I was like, yeah, this is the place. That I mean, like I visited 4 times, and that was just like the last thing that I needed. He said like he made me very, very confident in my decision.
Awesome.
Did you ever consider trying to be a dual sport threat?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I still have.
thinking
I might try and walk on there for baseball. Like,
Same
what
thing.
happens, they say no.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing we were talking about with club. It's like,
Worth a shot.
at Penn State, absolutely. You
Yeah.
play with Jack Krautsel there, and
Right?
and-
Yeah, we're good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That'll be sick. All right, let's see. Last thing I wanted to talk about was honestly just the Springfield community as a whole, because you were at that game when they honored AJ Grande, and it just seems like the Springfield community, especially with his passing, is just like really close. I kind of just wanted to hear your guys' opinions on what it's like being a part of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely, everybody's just came together really.
Yeah.
It's been really tough times because, I mean, Cody went to school, Mrs. Grande, she's been great with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's, I mean, we wear the 11 on our pads every game, just be there, he's there with us, so,
Yeah, and they're both like
yeah.
the family's still very involved with Springfield
Yeah,
baseball. Like
always.
having that game that honored them, like seeing all the people that came out was really great to see, especially like how good of a person AJ was
So all the
and the
support
Grande
we have in the
family.
community.
And you see it in
Yeah.
every sport at the high school. Like
Yeah.
for football, after he passed, we had a game that Friday. We wore a color for him
They
for
had a
his
basketball
cancer.
3v3 tournament for him,
Yeah.
his name,
Like,
to raise
and then-
money for his family.
Even lacrosse, like Springfield is kind of known as a lacrosse town, which stinks. But even the lacrosse kids, they come out and like to that game, they were all there, everyone's very tight, I guess.
So when he was a senior, you guys were freshmen, right? I was at the game where he threw out the first pitch against Strathaven and Marple, like
that was cool.
pretty recent after his diagnosis.
Yeah, he played through that whole season with it.
Yeah, with it,
Because I was a freshman.
And
on
I
varsity
had
with
no
him.
idea about any of it until he showed up, and Feely was telling me, like, I didn't expect to start like crying at a high school playoff.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I saw him show up with the mask, and I'm asking Feely, I'm like, what's going on? And he filled me in. I'm like, geez, this just got deep. Like,
Yeah.
my whole story after the game changed. I'm like, this is like baseball feels like nothing now compared
Yeah,
to like what we just watched there.
Yeah, it's obviously like it gets bigger than baseball at a point.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Cody,
Right.
his brother, was the year below him, and our sophomore year, like he took AJ's number 11 and played for him, and I mean he had a tremendous
He
season
honored
that
Oh
year.
my
his,
God,
his
he had a
his
great
senior
year.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
really
Cody's like he's the
They're
nicest
both, they
kid
both
ever.
are really.
The nicest kid ever, and he doesn't talk much. I don't know how much he talked to me sophomore year, but he would just go out there and he was incredible. Just really good player, the nicest kid ever. Doesn't talk much.
Is he still playing? Because we saw him it was at Rowan, like Cumberland at one
He
point,
plays at
right?
Williamson. I
Does he?
think.
Yeah.
Plays
Okay.
baseball.
Okay, that's good that he's still going.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome. Yeah.
actually didn't know where he went.
Because I remember seeing him at the JUCO. I didn't
yeah.
remember seeing him anywhere after that. But that's awesome that you guys are still kind of keeping the legacy alive. I was thinking about sometime doing like a story. I just kind of wanted to give them time to heal. Like the worst thing you need is right after like you lose a loved one, have a dumbass reporter come in and be like, hey, like tell me about how you're feeling. Like
Right.
awful.
Yeah.
What do you like? How do you think I'm feeling?
You always
know?
wonder. Like there was a lot of everyone was trying to acknowledge them,
Sympathize for them.
right? And it was just like at some point did they feel like it's too much? Like how much more how many more tears do you have to
Yeah,
cry?
it's like we're never gonna like heal if we're always
Right.
reminded of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think the best thing, I made the post to do the story, and I'm just let them,
Right.
do something. Maybe talk about like, do they have like a foundation or something or something with the basketball tournament.
We do that for him.
They just raise money for his family.
Just do stuff like more about the cause, not just like because I feel like I would love to have his brother in, but I feel like it also might be just a tough thing to talk about with all the lights and the cameras and just whatever. Oh man! All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Yeah,
We appreciate you guys taking
us.
the time. We'll be seeing you guys out on the field soon, and we wish you the best. Listen, you guys weren't in the power rankings start. I believe that you guys have the talent to do so, and prove us idiots wrong. That's all I have to say.
Cool.
Yeah, we're very dumb, to be fair. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you to our guys, Ethan Marshall, Matt Bean, and Sean Williams from Springfield for coming on the show today. It seems like a team that, we might be a little bit lower on than we should.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly,
I seem pretty optimistic for this
year.
Yeah,
I don't think I realized how senior heavy they were and how many guys they had coming back. And also, digging deep into the analytics and realizing they were in every game they played and seeing that just, having some more luck on their side could be good for them.
Yeah, definitely maybe a little bit of a dark horse in the league this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, with that being said, we got on another great Delco team here. This was a playoff team from last year. Lost some guys at the top, but, we're going to hear from these guys coming on soon about who's going to take their spot. So let's talk about the Ridley Green Raiders. Let's welcome on Bryant Cawthorn. We got John Tian and Danny Stickney. All right, we are now joined by our guys from Ridley. We got Brian Cawthorn, Danny Stickney, and John Tian. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. How y'all doing?
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Pretty good.
Good to have you guys in. How's the off season been for you guys?
Pretty good. Yeah, been working hard. All the young guys been working hard, so it's pretty good to see.
Yeah, a lot of young guys have been stepping up, especially with lifts. There's a lot more young guys than you would expect.
Yeah, I really think we got guys starting to buy in and just really be involved in the program.
You guys usually train at Ridley? Do you guys go somewhere else? What do you usually do?
For the most part, we're at Ridley, the high school. Other than that, we train at Fort Delco.
Where's that at?
It's right off of 420.
Is that like a full team? That's where you guys were this morning, right?
Yeah.
That's what Tom said, yeah. All right, so let's talk about last year. So obviously, very good regular season for you guys. Obviously, tough loss in the first round against Souderton. How do you guys think that loss will kind of motivate you going into this year?
I think it's a big motivator. Just getting into the playoffs for us isn't really something we want to do this year. We might want to make a run in the playoffs, not really die in that first round. And I think some of the younger guys are going to step up and help us with that run.
Yeah, it's pretty much just going to keep motivating us to keep that playoff streak going. We can finally get a playoff win for once.
How long has that streak been?
It's been since I've been on varsity, so at least 4.
Yeah, a pretty long time, I think.
Yeah, and I know over the past couple of years, we've seen playoff losses almost every single year. We make the first round and just blow games almost.
Yeah.
This time I think we'll finally step up.
Yeah.
Get some younger guys in there.
Nice. So, kind of on that note, what do you guys think you need to do to kind of get over that hump?
I think the biggest thing right now is just kind of taking accountability, because a lot of the kids if it doesn't go their way, they start freaking out, getting mad at themselves, taking it in the next at-bat or in the field. If we cut that back, I think we'll be pretty good.
What do you guys think? Kind of a reverse of the first question. What do you think are some things that you guys did well over the course of last year to build off of?
One thing I think personally is our pitching. We had really good pitchers in there, but we don't have them this year, so I think we need some guys to step up in that aspect, definitely.
I think pretty much the biggest thing was, pitching. We didn't walk too many guys last year. Just had to keep going at it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of spots to fill in the lineup, so I think other than the pitchers doing good, we just got to keep performing, work as a team.
All right, well, Brian, this question's not for you. This is for you guys because you both had big injuries last year. So I just want to hear about how you kind of dealt with it, how the recovery's been, and how just excited you are to kind of get back on the field and be healthy again.
It's pretty much been just that thing that keeps pushing me, because I didn't have time to show out last year. So this year I got to keep pushing, and get my revenge tour going.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. Like Danny said, when his revenge tour, he went and played his whole summer. I missed everything. I didn't get to do anything until soccer in the fall. So I I've been missing it really bad. And I had being on the bench, like I didn't play much to begin with, so when I got my chances, it was kind of like it was now or never. And yeah.
Didn't you get the chance to feel like you got the opportunity to prove it?
Yeah, like I was barely playing, so then I did end up getting in and getting hurt, so
it was just like, damn, I wish I was still on the bench. Pretty much, yeah.
That's tough.
And it was fun though watching those guys. Like watching those games were awesome.
Yeah, because we're
I had
complete
no
psychos.
complaints.
You're psychos. Why is that?
Oh, you just gotta be. You gotta make it fun somehow.
Is that like a Ridley brand thing? Just be insane.
Definitely a
That's our
little
tribe
nuts.
mentality.
Well, I mean, as we mentioned, Fred Jordan is a Ridley guy in the area. Do you feel like being insane is good correlation with being good at baseball?
At most times, yeah, because
Honestly,
that keeps you up.
I feel like that's a closer mentality.
Yeah.
You got to be something going on up there if you really want to be a good closer.
You definitely you gotta be a little bit. I think we're all a little bit insane. So
Well, especially I was gonna say, a sport where you get out 7 out of 10 times, you're considered good. You kind of have to have something wrong with you a little bit to play. All right, so let's talk about real quick the guys that left. So like Mike Happersett, Ryan McNichol, Jeremy Stranix, all big parts of the program. What do you have to say first about what they meant to the program, and then next about like how you guys plan on kind of making up for their production?
They're definitely big in the program. They've been there 4 years, pretty much all of them. So it's going to be a big spot to fill for us. But I think us three especially can definitely fill in those spots. And like I said before, those young guys, they've been working for about the same amount of time in JV. And I think they can come up here this year and perform.
Yeah, pretty much that. And it's just building off of like the chemistry those three specifically had. We keep that going between like our middle infield, our outfield guys. Should be going pretty well.
Yeah, I mean that class that they set the foundation. They set the floor for us. I mean we just got to keep going.
So talking a little bit about some of the younger guys on your team, who are some of them? Who are some of the guys you think will step up for you guys this year?
Definitely one for me is Doherty. He's an outfielder. He's real quick. Joe Dirt, that's my guy. He's gonna step up in the outfield as well. Those are just a couple of the names, but
awesome.
I personally like Jake Mansfield. I think he's going to be a real big part of the program over the next couple of years.
What position is he?
He's most of the time he's middle infield, but I think we're going to try and get him worked in at third.
Cool.
I think that'll be a pretty good mix.
I've been a big fan recently of Joey McGuire. I think he's really he's become a game changer for us. I think he's going to end up starting at third base or just he's going to really find a way to impact the lineup this year, and he hasn't really had the opportunity to do so in the past couple of years being a catcher because, I mean, he's had Danny in front of him. So,
do you guys feel like you have the best Delco accents in the area? I feel like Ridley's near the top of the chain in terms of just sound like, you know, if you found someone, like if you were across the country and started talking, somebody like that guy's from Delco.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Ridley's pretty high on that list.
You'll get that all the time.
Yeah, you'll find some dads out here with some crazy accents. It's ridiculous.
It's always the dads.
Like you'll hear it in the outfield. It's like
they got the calf tattoos and they're drinking a sixer out for a 3 o'clock Tuesday game. You know,
got the red Solo card out
early.
Yeah.
I would get it all the time at travel too.
Oh yeah, 8 a.m. Saturday.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
There's only one way to get through this.
Yeah. All right. So now that you guys are, the seniors running the show, we talked about on the field. How do you guys feel like you're a junior, right?
Junior.
I had this question for when Tyler McDevitt was going to be here as well.
Yeah.
So we'll rephrase that one. But how do you feel kind of taking the responsibility of the leadership from those guys that left?
I think they showed us like what to do, how to act when you're in that position, and I think we can pick up on that well and just kind of mirror what they did, and hopefully it'll show the younger guys when they get up in that position as well.
I kind of just think everybody tries to rule by like their boys telling everybody what to do. That's not going to work with these kids. I think you got to lead by example. You got to like show it instead of just talking because
they're just going to laugh at you if you try and get
much.
I could see really kids, like you try and tell them to do something like, fuck you talking to? Exactly. Yeah. So I guess this next question we had here was kind of about the team chemistry. A lot of new faces. Do you think that that's going to be something you guys have a good chemistry now, or it's going to have to like take a little bit in the season to really click?
I think really in general it's just like a really bonded team. We're close as a family in my eyes. So no matter what, I feel like that's always like a core to our baseball. So yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Yeah, we pretty much play together a lot of years we've been playing baseball, and other than that, outside of it, we've been doing stuff together too. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, like I always like to say, we move as a family. You know, we like to call ourselves the Tribe. So
Yeah,
Where'd that nickname come from? Yeah.
It just
I
popped
guess the
up.
Raiders make sense.
Yeah.
I always like how Radner, like they changed their team name to the Raptors, and I'm sure someone told Ridley, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to stay as the Raiders." Thank you very much. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's hysterical. I love it.
Yeah.
Tribe's awesome. That's
the Tribe.
Well,
It's nice.
we were thinking about making like throughout the season like merchandise for like different teams. Like obviously we can't put like a Ridley logo or say like Ridley, but just stuff like a green and white shirt that would say like the Tribe. Or for like other teams,
nice.
you know, doing stuff that like goes with their, you know. It's almost like, you know how like for the Phillies, like they have like the hashtag, like it's like the ring the bell. It's like a little calling,
like a
you know, thing for
slogan.
teams.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
definitely.
So you guys got a new head coach this year, Tom Carey. After he left Upper Darby, came over here. I guess it hasn't been a ton of time with him yet. But what do you guys think so far?
I like him as a head coach. I think he's a really like kind of has a plan oriented for us type of coach. And I like that it pushes us to work harder. But Monzo is more of a personal connection kind of guy. Like he's good one-on-one, like talking to you. He knows how to get to you. But I think they both have good sides of the spectrum. So
I really like Carey as a head coach. I mean, he holds everybody accountable. Like even captains will hold accountable.
Yeah.
No matter what, like you got to be on that program, whatever he has set for us.
Yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about him. He kind of came in and just we started going right away, like almost from the day he was announced as the head coach, and it's just we've been going at it.
Yeah, good track record too. I mean, winning a playoff game with Upper Darby. Not many coaches can really say that they've been able to do that.
Even
impressive.
making the playoffs.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about college baseball. So obviously we'll start with you, Danny. You're heading to Mount St. Mary's. What was the recruiting process like? Like how did you end up there playing through an injury while trying to get recruited?
All right, so through the summer I pretty much just played, and then obviously with the broken hand it was a little bit rough, but I kind of just kept pushing through it because I was uncommitted at that point. Then fall came around and I was still playing with it injured. And then I ended up having some game at Mount St. Mary's, started talking to a bunch of their head coaches, their assistant coaches. Just really fell in love with the program, the field, like their off-season facilities, everything that they do.
Was it like the second you committed, you're like, all right, I'm going to deal with this injury now?
Pretty much, yeah.
So were you catching the whole summer with a broken hand?
Yeah.
It was your catching
my
hand?
throwing hand.
Oh, okay, that
That's
helps.
still,
That's
though,
still,
you're
oh
making
yeah.
a
How'd you
throw
hurt
every
it to
time.
begin with?
I was swinging a bat. I broke it swinging.
How?
Um,
Good question. Yeah.
Is it that like same bone that a lot of people were breaking?
Was it more like the
forget what
wrist
it's
or?
called.
I broke my hamate bone.
Yeah.
I still have a
Okay,
scar.
yeah, that makes sense.
And then I had to get surgery to remove that, so there's nothing in there to like harm me anymore. So I guess I can just keep working through it.
Nice.
Makes sense.
That's crazy.
All right,
for
Brian,
the
you're a
whole
senior.
summer.
Do you know what you're planning on doing next year?
Yeah, so I'm currently waitlisted for Williamson Trade School, so I'm waiting on that. But other than that, I think I would take the community college route and go with either Penn State Brandywine, Delaware Community College, maybe even Cumberland County Community College.
A lot of Delco guys all over there. Brandywine has 11 Delco players on their team.
That's great.
Delaware County, they seem like they have a new coach that's kind of getting the program back.
Yeah.
I don't even think they had a season last year.
They did not. Yeah, I think this is their first year.
Opening day today. If it doesn't get
Alright,
rained
let's go.
out for them, yeah. Williamson has baseball as well, right?
Yeah, they're not the best, but it's
somewhere to play.
Yeah.
John, you're only junior. Obviously, little behind them in terms of that. But have you looked at any schools just in general, just out of
I'm kind of
curiosity?
just getting started with like my whole process. I'm just trying to figure things out, what I want to do. I've been in talks with some coaches at my my travel program. I'm with Anderson Monarchs in South Philly, so yeah, I'm just trying to get started.
Have you guys, or I guess this would be for you. So we train with these guys at a place called Motive, and they do stuff with some people in Anderson. It's like 5 minutes down the road from here, and I think, are they going to be working in that facility, or?
Yeah, I think they're going over. They've been over there before. So like Mark and Mike.
There's a tall, bald guy and a short Italian.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I met Mike the other day, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think he's going to be working full-time there soon.
Yeah,
right?
he's going over there soon.
Yeah. All right, so one thing we've been asking other Central League teams is, outside of yourselves, who are some other teams you think could be pretty good this year?
As usual, like Lower Marion's pretty good. Maybe even Garnet Valley, I think, are two big teams.
Yeah, I feel like a couple big teams would be like Strathaven because they're coming off that playoff run. They'll always be a good like opponent for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's always like Lower Marion with their arms. But other than that, seems like everybody's got a fair chance.
A lot of parity this year.
Yeah,
you know, even the teams in last place last year were 4-12, which obviously is not great, but like it's not like anyone's going like 1-15, 0-16.
Yeah.
Like everybody's playing everybody tough.
Central leagues.
It's very widespread. Yeah.
Yeah, and even those teams that are at the bottom, they were giving all of us good games. Like I know Pencrest was like 6-5 against us. Like, I think the league's gonna be very competitive this year. And it's gonna be like a toss-up almost.
Definitely. Is there any games that you guys kind of have like circled in the schedule, like really excited to play against, or just kind of everyone?
Next up.
Next up. I like that.
Just all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotta keep working. It's a senior year.
Exciting. All right, so let's see, pull up the schedule here. We kind of have like an Excel sheet of everybody. So you guys are playing Chai. I assume that's a scrimmage in like a week or two.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah.
Chai is a out of league game. Our first game.
So okay. And let's see, so there's Malvern on here as well. I'm guessing that's a scrimmage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a scrimmage.
Yeah. Oh man, how excited are you guys to get back out there? Long off season.
Yeah, it's been real long. I played some basketball in the winter season, so I'm excited to get back on the baseball field from change from the court. Yeah.
A little less running.
Yeah, a lot less. Jesus, I was humbled my first practice.
You're in baseball shape, not basketball shape.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm just ready to get my revenge tour started.
I love it.
Like that.
Let's make a Danny Stickney revenge tour T-shirt and sell that on the shop. Yeah,
love it. Really
get some NIL deals going.
That'll be a bit this year. We'll just keep track of all that.
How many revenge tours we got? Well, there's only be one. Well, I guess there can be two winners technically. Two different brackets. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to get out while you're here?
I got nothing.
Really?
Nah, just excited to get out there.
Let's
play
go.
some ball.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in. We appreciate your time, and we'll be seeing you guys out on the game soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you to Brian Cawthorn, Danny Stickney, and John Tian from the Ridley Green Raiders for taking the time to come on the show today. You know, they may have lost some guys, but they don't seem to be, too pessimistic about their season this year. I think they like where they're at.
They seem ready to just kind of, they seem very confident, like the guys that are coming up in their ability to step up. I think another team that's going to be really dangerous this year.
Yeah, made the playoffs last year. They were a 12 seed last year, and I think we either said it in the preview episode or in the articles where it's like, you know, they might, in terms of like the grand picture of District 1, might slide down a little bit, but I still think they're a playoff team.
100%.
I mean, we had them at 9 in the power rankings for a reason. You know?
Absolutely. And that's also like, I'm still not over the playing the full sum with the broken hand. Like that's
what a Delco gritty guy
different.
Right there.
That's different toughness right there.
And it's also the type of stuff where you don't see from Game Changer and you don't see in the stat sheet looking at a guy, you know, like especially, you know, when we saw on Game Changer, John, you know, 2 games played, didn't get, I don't think, any at bats before he got hurt, and then you don't realize, like, you know, it's because stuff like that, you know, stuff that doesn't show up.
That's stuff we will be better on. That I mean, last year again, you're kind of doing it from Penn State. I was not on until later. This stuff will be better about.
Yeah, we're excited to watch both of these teams get out on the field, and you know, it was weird because, you know, it's a big rival school, but for whatever reason, baseball doesn't feel like it has the same luster in terms of the rivalry, you know?
No, I think there's always like, I think the difference is that there's always a couple other teams like in the Central League. They're like kind of the ones that both schools are shooting for. Almost.
And there's also only one game.
Yeah,
you know,
the one game also kind of sucks too.
You're playing a lot of teams twice, you know, outside of that. But
I'll put a petition. Springfield really can play twice a year.
Should be. Hey, if we have a playoff system, then maybe we should.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to college here. We got a lot of high school on the show. We're gonna move on to college, and we got to start out with the boy Sammy Benz, Carroll alum Sam Benvignati. You know, this kind of surprised me, not because he's not good, because he's big, but he hit for the cycle against Alfred. The homer was an inside the Parker. And he had a triple's a triple as well. So shout out Sammy Benz.
He's getting his cardio in.
First ever cycle in Brandywine history. Also drove in a program record 8 runs. And the boys are buzzing down there in Brandywine.
That's huge. This is a big year for them to kind of like turn around and get ready for that D3 or that jump to D3 next year.
It would be pretty cool to see, especially someone like myself who played there for a year, to see them go out with the first ever conference title in the last year. You know, it's like going to the Division III level is a big jump. And you know, it would be pretty cool just to see them be able to get that. You know, it's kind of like the last Infinity Stone gauntlet. Definitely. To be able to transition up to Division III. But we got our 11 Delco guys there ready to make that happen. So, looking forward to that. Brian Henry, he is a Bonner alum. He's at Misericordia. Ben, tell us what he did in this game.
A little CG action against St. John's in Minnesota for Misericordia. 2-1 win. Just, I mean, that's especially coming from a freshman. Honestly, anyone going 9 innings in a college game in general is like really impressive. Having that be what I think was his first start.
Not first appearance, but first start.
Yeah. That's just nuts.
That's insane to be able to. Especially, I'm glad that the staff trusted him to go deep into that game. I think they were down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were somewhere.
And obviously on those types of trips, the arms are running low. But to be able to do that as a freshman, go out there, and I don't know what the pitch count was, but to be able to go out in 9 innings is super impressive. And it's not like it was a big lead that they kind of asked him to ride it out. Like every out was competitive towards the end of that game there. So
was definitely earned himself some more starts too, or at least more appearances. Something that's what you gotta do.
Shout out Brian, also Garner Valley alum Drew Van Horn getting some starts for the Cougars.
Yeah,
is that what they are? Yeah. They are the Cougars. Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk about St. Joe's here because we had 3 Delco guys with a great performance. So this is being recorded on Saturday afternoon. So we're gonna talk about the last week of college baseball. But I think Brian's start was on Monday. Don Picone, Garner Valley alum, he had 6 shutout innings. Luke Zimmerman, Marple alum, the star of that 2018 state title team, he was 5 for 12. And Tim Dickinson, he's a Malvern Prep guy, but he's a Newtown Square guy. So he had a great weekend as well. He was 5 for 9. And we're going to get out to a Hawks game soon. I think, do you know off the top of your head, it's putting you on the spot, if Rhode Island comes here or if they're there?
I think they go to Rhode Island.
That's a long road trip there. Yeah,
it might be a big ask. I mean, hey, listen, it's open to it, but yeah, I think they do go to Rhode Island. I know like they play Nova in that Liberty Bell thing. It's like the little tournament.
What would be like? Well, I guess let's see. LaSalle doesn't have a team. Drexel and Temple don't have teams. Just like other local teams.
It's like who is it? It's St. Joe's, Nova, I think Lafayette's in there.
Maybe Lehigh, if it's
Lehigh might be in
what's
there.
it called? Liberty Bell?
Liberty Bell Classic. It's something like that, yeah. They play at the I think they play their final at the
is it the FDR Park?
No, they play it at
is it the bank? Yeah. Oh, because I think so there's Ryder.
Yeah, so Ryder might be in there too.
All right, so it looks like Nova won in 22. There's Lehigh, obviously Temple not anymore. Lafayette looks like it's in it. Ryder, Delaware.
Okay, yeah. It's a bunch of kind of teams within an hour or two of...
Let's see. The original 8 schools were Penn, Delaware, St. Joe's, Drexel, Nova, Temple, Westchester, and LaSalle. Because Westchester used to be D1, actually. Okay. And when Westchester was reclassed as D2, it was replaced by Ryder, and then in turn replaced by Lehigh. So I guess Ryder's not in it anymore. Lafayette joined in 03 when Drexel was dissolved. That's something that would be really fun to cover.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like that one goes under the radar around here. Like
I had no idea it existed until right now.
We just have like a college baseball tournament that happens here, and no one really talks about it.
Just wait until we host the Delco Baseball Now Classic high school baseball 100%. Tournament next year. Someday in the future, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to D2. We got Westchester. So Westchester, I think if you ask me, is the best combo of Delco guys that have a chance to win a national championship. Like obviously our Penn State club guys are are on a different like scale, I guess. But in terms of this, there's 5 different guys on the team here. So Joe Sperone is off to a fantastic start. He's a Cardinal O'Hara alum. 16 and a third innings this year. He's only let up 2 runs. He had 2 shutout performances to start the year. I think 5 and 6 innings respectively. Casey Vaughn, Springfield baseball alum, had a walk-off single. And Kyle Laser. I want to talk a little bit about Kyle Laser because he missed all of 2023 with Tommy John surgery, and he came back. He picked up 2 saves in 2 days, which is really it's a show of trust on 2 people. Trust that Kyle on himself, his arm can be able to withstand that, and a trust from Westchester to say, hey, like we know you missed all last year, but we know that you got the type of talent you had when he came in as a freshman was fantastic. Yeah. We trust you to go back out there and pick up where you left off, and he looked great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's definitely going to be a really fun team to watch this whole year, especially just all the Delco guys they have. And like all the Delco guys that are contributors.
I look up their schedule or their record because the last time I checked, they were 7-0. And I'm curious if they're still undefeated.
They might have dropped one since.
9-0.
Oh, never mind.
9-0. So they, so I was obviously, as I mentioned, today is Saturday the 9th. So they took a doubleheader from Kutztown on Friday. I'm
Okay.
guessing because of the weather,
Yeah,
they're
they
playing
probably
2
pushed that
Friday,
up.
2 Sunday.
That makes sense.
Which would make sense. 2-1 in 11 innings, and then 7-2. They actually played at MSI. I wish I knew about that to be able to get over there. But we also got Johnny DiMucci on that team, and who am I missing that hasn't came up? Andrew Cantwell.
Yep.
Andrew Cantwell from Marple and Johnny from Bonner. So I believe this is the best start in program history. I believe they have national championships in 17 and 12. I think
I think so.
Because I think 17 was. I knew a couple guys that what's his name? Oh my God, he's on my Delco League team. I'm completely blanking on his name. Right, Joe Peluso was on that team. I'm sorry if you're watching, Joe. I completely blanked on that. But yeah, no, it's a program them in Millersville that every year they're going to be. I feel like one of them goes to the World Series every season.
Just 2 really incredibly run programs.
Speaking of the PSAC, we got a Strathaven alum, Mike Valente. He had 6 shutout innings in his last performance. Through his first 2 performances, he's only let up 1 run, and he's somewhere where he's only a sophomore right now. And I love the guy. He made such a big jump from where he was physically as like a junior, senior to where he is now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he was always a good baseball player that was, for a while he was small, but then he was very skinny. Like he got taller, but he was still lanky. Now he's filled out more, and now he's throwing like 90, 91, and it's such a big difference for him.
Yeah, so he threw really well this past summer, and just now kind of seeing him go into his season at Cal U, and he's off to a great start.
Yeah, it's good to see. Hopefully we'll have him back this summer, but maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get another opportunity to play. All right, let's talk about 2 Delco guys who were at D1 schools and now are tearing it up at D3 schools.
Sure.
Ben, I'm going to let you take these 2 because they're both Upper Darby Blue Sox in the Delco League.
It's a big representation for the Sox right now. Darren Hagen, grand slam for Keystone, went 7 of 13 on the weekend. He seemed like he kind of got up there, got in the starting lineup pretty quickly, and has become a big contributor. And that's awesome to see. That was, just really cool to see for him. And then second, this one pains me a little bit. It's a slight conflict of interest, but Sammy Berman, a Catholic.
Landmark, yeah.
Yeah, a little landmark rivalry there, but we're still rooting for the Delco guys. I'm really happy to see him doing well. He was another guy who jumped right into the starting lineup. A little bit of a slow start, but has picked it up really well since. He was 4 of 9 with 7 RBIs over the past weekend.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you. Going back to Darren real quick, that grand slam, they were down 4 late in that game, and that tied it up. I think they either won or lost by 1, but regardless,
I think they did win that game.
Yeah, and go just like anytime you're down by either like 3 or 4, like to either go ahead or tie the game, it's just like it's unbelievable. And so I didn't really get to follow him much at Coppin State because he was hurt a lot, and I think someone had commented on one of the posts like, good to see him back healthy again.
Yeah, that was something he was talking about over the summer, just kind of like his injury problem. So it is really good to see him just healthy and doing his thing. Like
I mean, speaking to someone who gets hurt a lot, whether it be my own fault or not my own fault, it's very frustrating and mentally taxing. But you got to keep grinding through it. We didn't talk about Roman Tazzi, but he's over there at Catholic with Sammy.
He's been getting some time. I know early on he threw pretty well. I haven't seen since.
We also have, I believe, Ryan Kearney from Bonner. I believe he was there last year. Yeah, he's still there. He's a sophomore on that team. He's a lefty pitcher. Let's see if he's got any.
That was someone from the kid from Lower Marion who's going there next year, right?
Jack Scholes. Yeah. So Ryan hasn't played yet this year, but Scholes will be there. Nico Tazzi will be there as well next year.
Oh, really?
So,
he committed there?
Yeah, so that'll be fun to go out to a game with Catholic and E-Town. But with both the Tazzis
Catholic's
there.
Stacking Delco guys.
Well, their coach is, I'm pretty sure he's super Italian too. I met him.
Yeah, Natoli.
Yeah, Ross Natoli.
Yeah, dude.
You look at that guy, man.
What a dude.
Bobby
Picardo is still there. He used to work All-Star.
Italian. Bobby Picardo. Yeah.
I like it. It.
All right. So that's what we got for college this week. We're as the high school season gets going, it's going to be a little tough to try and keep track of everybody, but we're gonna do our best to keep it going. We're gonna move on to a little Phillies talk. We want to give a huge shout out to Bonner alum Jim Haley, who was re-signed with the Phillies. He spent last season in AAA. Playing with the Iron Pigs, he hit around 255 with 11 homers, and it would be so cool to see him get his major league shot playing with the Phils.
I really just hope. Again, like, it's a weird point where something bad might have to happen for it, so it's like hard. Like, I mean, I'm rooting for it. But.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate where he would have to have I think last year he was playing first, but I think he can play most places in the infield.
Yeah, he's kind of an all-over guy.
It would have to be like a couple injuries, like to Bohm and guys like Sosa, Kingery would have to, But regardless, getting to stay in Lehigh Valley, I think it'll be fun to go to a game there this summer, trying to catch up with him. I want to get him on the show. But most importantly, he was just like looking for a home up until this was a couple days ago that he signed there. So, it's got to be an interesting spot when you're his age. I would say off the top of my head, I think it's like 28 or 29 maybe, to, if you don't have any offers, kind of weighing like at what point do you have to decide to kind of just like hang it up. I know it's a tough thing because you always hear about the stories of like the guys like Drew Maggi on the Pirates last year that grinded in the minors for 10 years to get their chances, but you don't hear about the guys who did that thinking their chance would come and it never does.
Yeah, I mean, for every story like that, there's probably 10 where it didn't work out that way. Yeah. It's I mean, that's just kind of the like unfortunate part of how professional baseball works. But yeah, it's cool to see him like still playing. It's really and even cooler to see him playing with be it the Phillies affiliate. It's still cool to like kind of see him in the system.
I mean, how many Delco guys get to say they had the Phillies all across their chest, right? Not many at all. Yeah. But no, we're looking forward to seeing that. I know he's heading down to Clearwater. We'll talk a little bit about what we've seen from the Phillies so far. I think Ranger Suarez look pretty good so far in the spring. At the end of the day, it's spring stuff, and if they do well, they look great. If they don't, it's just spring training, right? But I think the most interesting debates for the Phillies right now are going to be who gets that last outfield bench spot, whether it's Pache or Jake Cave, and what the bullpen's going to look like. But I think overall, the pen's in a pretty solid spot, and I don't know. All I'm saying is I bet on DraftKings, free advertising DraftKings, on the Phillies over 90 wins.
I like it. Because
last year they got 90 wins when Turner was awful until August, and Bryce wasn't really himself, like coming off the surgery until August. So I like, is that enough to overtake the Braves in the division? Probably not. But I think that, I think they'll probably end up being the first or second wild card seed again.
Yeah, I could see them finishing pretty similar to where they were last year. Good looking team. I really hope that they give Pache the last out. Like, I get you want a lefty bat. I get all of that. He's just better. He does more. Yeah. He does more better than Jake.
I kind of wanted them to sign Votto to have the lefty bat off the bench. Cool too. Honestly, you know what? I don't remember if we talked about this in the last show. I don't think we did the Zach Wheeler extension. I think I think that happened after our last time. So Zach Wheeler, I think this is the most perfect like player and deal and team deal of all time. Yeah. You give a guy, more money in 3 years than he got in the last 5 years because he earned it. He's now, I believe, the highest paid pitcher annually, maybe behind like Garrett Cole or like
he might be even ahead of Cole.
I think
he's like the annual like per year is the highest of anyone.
He deserves it.
Absolutely.
And he has the perfect mentality where it's like, listen, like I don't want to pitch when I suck and I'm old. Not to call him out, but like Zach Greinke's kind of hanging around just because he loves playing. Wheeler's like, no, like this might be my last deal. Like I'm gonna be dominant for 3 more years and then just like. If he wins a World Series, or at least a Cy Young, maybe just like hang it up after that. He doesn't want to be one of the guys where he stops playing because he's bad. He wants to kind of go out on his own terms.
Doesn't want to be a bad old dude on a terrible contract.
Yeah, but
that's fair.
It's understandable, and now he's got the opportunity. This core, I don't even think we have any free agent like of the major core in this next year or two. So
that's what someone was saying. Is like, if you think this past offseason was boring, just wait till next year.
Yeah. I mean, they could add, but they won't be subtracting. I guess is the great way to put it. All right, well, that is all we got for you lovely people of Delaware County today. Shout out producer Rob for hooking us up. Episode number 50. I think in the studio, maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I think right now. We'll be having a lot more. We should have got like a 50th banner across the wall presented by your brand, if that's what you want to get on here. Listen, all I'm saying is those power rankings have 13,000 views on the Twitter /X app.
Just waiting for someone to.
Power rankings presented by blank.
Pretty easy.
I guess we'll see.
Rolls off the tongue.
All right. As always, thank you all for tuning in. Follow us on all social media. If you haven't already, subscribe and like on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. We'll have some more games and scrimmages to talk about next weekend as well. So we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you then.